Hey, what's going on there, YouTube? This is SEO0320 representing JVS. So, quick disclaimer before I even get into this. I have given up on Arrow. Now, by the end of this video, you'll kind of get where I am with whether or not I'll ever watch any more Arrow episodes or whether I might start reviewing them now and again. But I felt as though I was talking to one of my friends, and even my girlfriend, she really loves the Arrow show, and I told her after, spoiler alert, after Laurel died, okay, after, the thing that happened with Felicity, the moment she sits up, stands up, she just walks out of Oliver's life, the way they even just distorted, Felicity or Felicity in general, like, it was just like, I look at Flash, and I'm looking at Iris and Barry and how they're working so well together and how it's just naturally flowing. And that could have easily have been Oliver and, Felicity with circumstances happening to maybe where Laurel would go back into the picture. But they just, to me, they failed me on season 4. Now, I was like, I need to at least watch one episode to be able to kind of make my mark. And so I actually chose this episode. The name of it is called Penance. This is the episode where John Diggle actually shows back up. The whole thing about it was Oliver and Diggle's wife wanted to break Diggle out. Diggle was basically burdened with guilt because of what happened with Laura. He blamed himself because he had to not only kill his brother, but at the same time at the cost of someone else's life, which is even crazier. So he feels all this guilt, and then he tried to go to the military. That didn't work, and then he ended up in prison. Okay. The whole concept behind the episode didn't make sense to me because I was like, why would Oliver just break him out, naysayingly? But what I've actually understood about season 5, which is a very big plus, is that Oliver is not the Oliver that we remember. He actually, coming off of what happened with Laurel, he is a lot more jaded. He is a lot more, I don't know, like there's internal struggle with him that's conducive of the first 2 seasons, more so than the 4th and the 3rd, where he was kind of going against Ra's al Ghul and then going against Damien Dark. It was just back and forth kind of crap. This is more centralized, and I was like, okay, he's making this decision, but this is putting people in jeopardy while he's doing it, and he doesn't even care. Case in point, him fighting against his own crew that he's trying to, train to save the city. And he beat him down bad. I was like, and he got the Diggle. He's like, look, you my brother, bro. Like, I will do this with you. I'm your ride or die, And I was like, okay, I'm actually kind of liking that, And then the other critique that I was really kind of thinking about when I was looking at certain previews of season 5, I was like, okay, I got Mr. Terrific here, but these guys can't fight. I got, what is it, Ragman, Mr. Terrific, Artemis got name dropped. I'm not sure if this is the first time they actually name dropped her. And then you got Mad Dog. And I was like, they ain't all that good. It's like you got like little miniature Laurels going around trying to fight, And then I actually dug into Ragman, and I looked at, who he was as a DC character and then his ability with his suit, with magic and enhanced strength. And I was like, he could actually turn out to be a really good character. And he's got this interesting connection with Felicity that makes Felicity's respect to the show more palatable, because there are things that Felicity did that really, hindered him as a character, and he's flawed because of her, and at the same time, he got an interesting little legacy, and it adds dimensions to Felicity because it's not just plotting about Oliver. Matter of fact, like, with all the dramatic love, this or that, I didn't see that the whole episode, which I was like, yes, because you screwed their relationship. So at least you can, if they're going to work together, let's, go to the brass facts, let's get back to the main basis of where they were before. But she was always there helping, she was always having his back, but they was always beefing as far as what Oliver's decisions were, even if they were right, versus what her thought process was. And it was actually okay. I didn't really have a problem with it. Now, I still can say, these characters, they're like, I don't know, even Mr. Terrific, he's getting a beat down. He got hit in his face multiple times. He didn't have any bruises coming out of it. I was like, what the heck is this? And maybe if I look at a couple of episodes, I might get more out of it. I don't know. Even the villain, with having Tyrese from The Walking Dead, and now the circumstance of what happened with Mad Dog at the end, I was like, this is going to be pretty interesting because the guy that played Tyrese is actually a really good actor. the flashback sequences with, Oliver becoming Brava, and I think that Dolph Lundgren is actually going to be a major Russian contender that's going to put Oliver in his place in that time frame. It was interesting to see coming off the whole Damien Dark arc. I was just like, what are they doing? And then this is more centralized, It's like Oliver definitely is diminished. He's dark in the flashbacks. And it's really interesting, kind of compelling in a lot of different extents versus what they did with season 4. So in general, I will say based off this episode that this is better than season 4. Now, that doesn't have anything to do with the Flashpoint stuff. It really just has to do with the way that they're trying to bring things full circle back to the basics of the first season, second season. Which is going to be interesting to see if people like Tommy come back based off of what happened with Flashpoint. If they're going to ever bring Laurel back. There are a lot of realm of possibilities and certain things that could really happen up until they get to the crossover with Supergirl, with, DC Legends of Tomorrow and The Flash, which I'm definitely going to be there for that. The question is this show merited for me to watch versus looking at something like Lethal Weapon? Honestly, Wednesdays have been like my chillax days. I'm glad to not actually have to review anything on a Wednesday. And at the same time, I was actually pretty sick today. I actually had to go through a medical procedure today, which, praise God, I'm actually doing really good. That came out good, but I was actually supposed to do something tonight. So it's like, to give up my Wednesdays, is that merited for the Arrow series? Specifically this season 5, based on looking at this episode, Penance. I guess I'll say I will reassess potentially looking at it again. Whether or not I'll review it or not, that's a whole other thing. But I may potentially give it a chance again. But it's just like some things that they made decisions with the last season that were just unforgivable. Y'all can comment and let me know in the comment section below if y'all think the same thing. I just was really jaded. I was like, I could spend more time looking at other stuff, and it was just like I was done, man. I don't know. I don't want to go into the negatives of the past. I want to talk about the progression of what I saw just in this episode. Now, there are definitely still some faults. Like I said, the team is not formulated and just remind me of like Laurel's running around like not how to defend themselves. And then there's a lot of things that are kind of nostalgic. Just to be nostalgic, to be just like the first and 2 seasons, which is a good thing, but it's like, where are they progressing this forward to? Who is the real enemy? Where's the arc actually happening? But then when you got characters like Ragman, Mr. Terrific, Artemis, and then Oliver is more of a well-rounded, Green Arrow. If they finally give this man a goatee, like actually rolls down this yellow, what I'm saying? I think I'll actually be potentially on board. But given the circumstance of what happened with Legends of Tomorrow and the whole city being kind of like jacked up, I feel like all these dimensions of what's happening are going to change. I feel like the crossover is really going to be this thing that's going to set the tide. That the end that the Legends of Tomorrow saw cannot happen. It can't be that the city is left in ruin like that and Oliver just happens to be this one guy with the one arm that's helping Diggle's son. So I think that things are going to change for the better, but I guess this episode really kind of just acknowledged that for me. But we'll see. I don't know. Leave me in the comment section below what y'all thought. I will not rate this episode because, if I did, it'd probably be still really low. I want to talk about more of like my potential comeback to the Arrow series. I'll talk to y'all soon though. Keep it locked. JVS ain't gonna stop. Peace, everybody.